Good morning. We're here again now with Pat McGuigan. Thanks for joining us this morning. So this week, school choice advocates, they got a boost at the Capitol, right? What happened? What does this mean for education?
Well, the House passed pretty comfortably a proposal to create a tax credit scholarship fund. It'll be funded by individuals and businesses. Total capacity of several $1 million. And it kind of has a wrinkle to it. It's not merely a classic school choice proposal like you've seen in Florida and a few other states. The wrinkle is that it also creates the ability to contribute money that could be used to create programs that don't currently exist in rural schools. The analogy is made by some that have looked at this as saying, well, if you've got 4 kids in a district in the high school level that want to study Mandarin, that makes some people laugh, but it shouldn't, because Mandarin is a very important language to Americans right now because of what's going on in the world. And that example is used because there's wives and children of oil company executives, for example, and others living in our smaller communities who would have the ability to do that. That's an interesting aspect of this. The basis of the proposal originally, and still the bulk of the tax credits that would be created, would be to fund scholarships for young people that are in failing schools, designated as failing or underperforming, to be able to take a chit or the value of their education and go to the school of their choice. It's being very heavily criticized by some on the Democratic side. The minority leaders, Scott Inman, Emily Virgin of Norman, Mike Brown, Steve Copeland, they're speaking out against this. On the other side, a very intriguing urban-rural coalition emerged with Representative Harold Wright, Charles Ortega, Corey Holland, Earl Sears, Jason Nelson, and one pretty well-known Democrat, Rebecca Hamilton, from the south side of Oklahoma City, who spoke in favor on the floor and really had passionate and eloquent arguments in favor of this. We'll see where it goes. The kind of thing for parents to look for at functioning schools will not necessarily be new opportunities to exercise choice, but this is going to be among our poor performing schools, there's going to be a way for folks to have a fresh option or set of options under this bill.
What are your thoughts on the budget? That's always, you know, we start thinking about the budget, what's going to happen, who's going to be the winner, who's going to be the loser, if you're to predict it.
Yeah, that's a tough one, and I've been giving it a lot of thought. Let me give a framework, just like Senator Bingman this week said, a framework's now in place because he and the Speaker, Chris Steele, have given the governor a set of ideas. I guess the predicate for this should be to note that they were hoping to have a budget by mid-April. Well, that didn't happen. But the framework's in place. I'm not sure who the winners and losers will be. I can say that it still appears that the agencies that have been comparatively protected, all the educational functions, as well as public safety, health, that those will still be comparatively protected. Whether the ultimate cuts are 3% or 5%, and that's the difference between first the governor and the legislative leaders, we'll see. Concerns are, even at a time that the economy is growing, if you look ahead, even in that context, the smaller agencies, it's not at all clear what's going to happen to them. Now, there's some consolidation proposals that preserve the functions of these agencies, but would do so almost certainly with fewer employees. And as Senator Bingman points out, that's something that's already happened and been happening for years in the private sector. Overall, the crunch is going to come in the fact that the Republicans right now, the Republican leadership, has been unable to muster supermajorities for emergency clauses, and for the agency consolidation and other things that are designed to save money, that has major implications. And the implications are you'll lose up to 2 months of the savings if this doesn't go into effect by July 1. Now, what's been preventing that is an unusual coalition of all or most of the Democrats combined with a group of dissident Republicans. And at the end of the day, they don't have the same fiscal agendas, those two groups. So it's possible that that breaks up in time for the budget to be written. In any case, clock's ticking. We're down to a few weeks. They still want to get out early. We'll see.
All right, I know you'll keep watching and let us know what's going to happen. If you want to check out Pat's news website, go to CapitolBeatOK.com. We'll see you next week.